listening to Tapped In, Buncombe County's half hour to empower on WRES 100.7 FM in Asheville. Listen up and get tapped into local important resources, information, and topics. Learn more about the topics of today's show at buncombecounty.org. Okay, it's time to get tapped in.
Well, hello. And if you hear that, you know it is time to get tapped in. I'm Zakia Bell Rogers.
And I'm Leonard Jones.
And Leonard and I come to you from Buncombe County, Communications and Public Engagement, where real heroes wear capes.
All right, joining us today, we have a special guest, Brandi Bates, and she is with Tetra Tech. And Tetra Tech is an emergency and management disaster recovery service consulting firm. This company is working with Buncombe County to support recovery operations, and they're going to focus on the community navigator assistance, and navigators are individuals helping support the county's effort and helping residents walk through the recovery process in Saline. And also private property debris removal. A private property debris removal program is set up for both commercial and residential properties. And this will involve opening intake centers, traveling intake specialists, and an online application. So welcome, Brandi, to a conversation especially around recovery around Tropical Storm Helene.
Well, thank you. I am happy to be here.
Hey, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? And how long have you been doing this type of work?
Well, I've been doing work in public information for quite a while. I'm from Florida, and Florida is no stranger to disaster. I've worked probably 4 or 5 hurricanes, an oil spill, a fire, pandemic, disasters kind of in my blood. Mm-hmm. So a couple of years ago, I left that and I joined Tetra Tech Disaster Recovery, doing public information for them, marketing and branding on the private side of the spectrum rather than the public side. But it's great because one of the things I get to do is I get to help people in the public sector, like public information officers, who do what I used to do. Mm-hmm. And that's great. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. And those are the PIOs. You know, mm-hmm. We hear those initials every day now. And it went from never hearing that. And, I think that the top words that I hear now are PIO, debris, turbidity. What are the other ones that we hear all the time?
I don't know.
It's been a few.
It's been a lot. We survived the tropical storm.
No, it's a hurricane.
FEMA.
Yeah.
There's another word.
FEMA.
Yes.
FEMA.
Yeah,
Yes. And denied. No, just messing with you all. So tell us, we are in recovery. Is this almost 2 months out? Next week will be 2 months. And so what phase would we call this? Just stage 1.5 recovery? Kind of like that? Yeah.
I would say that. Recovery, it's there's a lot to do here. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a while. But what amazed me was when I was riding around with y'all yesterday, mm-hmm. Yes. And this was the first chance I'd really had to be out in the community and really see what was going on. And every turn, it seemed like y'all said, well, I've really made a lot of change. Like, things are coming along.
Yes.
And I'm looking at it go, wow.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff that's happened. And y'all are like, but look how far we've come.
Yeah.
So that's great.
And I'm glad you said that. And I hope everyone who's listening heard her as well as that there are changes. Mm-hmm. And so I would encourage everybody once a week just to look.
Yeah.
And see what's going on. And also tune into Buncombe County social medias and look at that as well, because it's always updates.
Yeah, new stuff's coming out all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially on the website at www.buncombecounty.org. You can stay up to date on this information around debris pickup, and I know we'll get further into that conversation around that. And we do realize that on the 19th, the city of Asheville, the water is now potable water is in the area. And it seems like it's a big sigh of relief. And so we just really want to bring it back to that. We are, as the county manager always say, this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
And so when we think of this recovery, getting the water back was a huge hurdle particularly the city of Asheville. Getting that water back is a huge step. Mm-hmm. And now we're on to this phase of cleaning it up and putting ourselves back together as a community. And so just with Tetra Tech being on the thing, being around in the area, big question is debris. What can you
is
tell us
huge.
about debris, and for the listeners, what's the stage they need to do if they have debris in their yard, or what phase, like what support can Tetra Tech give us in that?
So the right-of-way debris pickup has been going on for
Okay.
a while now, which is great, for the people who can and are able to get their debris to the curb.
Mhm.
I noticed in this morning's update, they did say that they were going to start doing debris pickup on private roads that were not private roads with public access, which means it's not
Yes.
gated.
Okay.
If you have a private road that is gated, you are going to have to fill out an ROE, which is a right of entry.
Okay.
And that's part of this whole private property debris removal program. The first step for us to be able to step foot on your private property
Mm-hmm.
is to get this right of entry signed off by the owners of the property. So if you're a tenant,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to get the person who owns the property to fill out this information. So we've got 4 different intake or application centers,
Okay.
rather. So there's the DRC application center at the mall where FEMA is, which is kind of like a one-stop shop for everything. I went to see it. It's fully staffed. It was great. And then, riding around with y'all yesterday, visiting the different community care stations and stopping by. We've got one at the Bartersville Fire Department, Station 15, the Shenandoah Fire Rescue, and the Fairview Library.
Yes.
And those are open Tuesday through Saturday from 8 to 5, which is great for people who work during the week.
Mm-hmm.
The FEMA DRC is open Monday through, they'll be open this Sunday, but then after this Sunday, they're going to switch to Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
But you can go online to the Buncombe County website. You can fill that thing out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was one thing I know this morning, because I had a tree fall on my property as a result of the storm, and so through this past few weeks, we have had the tree chopped up in manageable sizes and kind of stacked in the right of way. However, I do have this root bed and big trunk that still is leaning towards the right of way. But I went ahead and filled out the form just because I'm thinking they would probably have to come on my property
Yes.
to kind of really look at what the root bed doing, so and how to remove that possibly. And so I just want to encourage community listeners that's out there to really just fill out if you still have that debris or that right of way. Can you explain exactly the right of way and right of entry? I know you explained a little bit about right of entry, but right of way, is that just put it in the street, or is
No, not in the streets.
not yeah
No.
on the
Let's
curb,
not
on
do
the
that.
side of the street?
Yeah, the part that's from where your property line is to the street, and don't try really hard. Don't cover up your mailbox. Don't cover up a fire hydrant.
Yes.
Don't put it near a guy wire for a power. Make
Or the
sure,
water
or the water.
meter.
God forbid, not the water meter after all the water issues.
Oh,
So put it where it can be picked up.
Okay.
And not on your private property. But we do encourage people, don't sit there, thinking, gosh, is my debris going to be eligible for pickup or not? Go ahead and fill it out. But I can briefly tell you
Okay.
what is and what is not eligible in PPDR. But this is very general, so I still want to encourage people to go to the website and to sign up. So PPDR eligibility is hazardous limbs, trees, and other debris caused by the storm that's in a commonly used or maintained area of your private property. Debris that's impacting a waterway. So if you're on a stream or a river and you've got a propane tank or a washing machine or a vehicle, or down trees in that waterway. And then it also covers demolition and removal of structures that are deemed a health hazard. They're unsafe. They're probably not going to be recoverable, or they're in a state of collapse. So fill this out. Let our assessors come on your property and check it out and find out. I can tell you, generally what's not eligible is going to be debris on vacant lots, on unimproved property. So let's say you've got like a back 40 acres at your house or something, and you just have it just for fun, to ride your 4-wheeler on or something like that. So that's not going to be considered a used or maintained area. Debris used primarily for agricultural purposes like crops or for livestock. That's not going to be considered, but I still go ahead and fill it out. Let them. They can determine quickly. I'd hate for someone to just catch part of this and think, I'm probably not eligible. So when in doubt, fill it out.
Oh yeah,
very true.
does that not sound like me? That is something I would so say. But yes, today, and today is November what's the day? 21st.
22nd.
22nd.
Yeah,
And so this is pre-recorded. So I'm telling you all about this. So I'm saying today we had bad weather and we had a little snow and a lot of wind.
Yeah.
Knocked trees over in my neighborhood, knocked the power lines out and blocked everyone in. And they're cutting all those trees and everything up right now. And of course they're going to line the side of the road. And so we see a lot of that as we travel down the road. So those things will be just picked up automatically, just because they were cut up, like, by the power companies and things of that nature. So folks won't have to worry about.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's on the right of way. There's going to be multiple passes. Like we've heard many of the county officials say it's a marathon, not a sprint. So there will be multiple passes for these pickups, because we know not everybody can get their debris all out at one time.
Yes.
Heck, if you did, you probably couldn't see to get out on the street.
No. And there are multiple places, and people need to understand that debris is not, we're not just picking it up and dumping it, and it has to go. Some of it is going out of state to different locations. Some of it is being taken to be turned into mulch. And so, and that's because of the different levels of debris. We talked last segment that it was six categories of debris, and and trees is just one of that.
And there's a lot of it.
It's a lot. Mud and mud and dirt, and I mean so many levels. But the thing is, people should understand that that it is important for them to separate their debris as well when they're putting it out.
That mixed debris is so difficult for them to. That I know just from past disaster experience, mixed debris is picked up last because you go after the low-hanging fruit, like what you can get the biggest amount of fast, and that big separated pile of vegetative debris is much easier for them to pick up than for them to try to sort through that, with construction and demolition debris mixed in it. So keeping those piles very separated, your white goods like your washers and dryers, your electronics like microwaves and TVs, making sure that stuff is stacked separately is extremely important to a more efficient pickup.
Now, I did see someone who went above and beyond with their debris separation.
Did you?
They, their home was flooded, and they pulled the drywall off. All the drywall is like, I was like, God, this person needs to come to my house and clean up. But all their insulation, they took it and they put it in bags so it wouldn't fly off everywhere.
Oh, that's great.
And so it was all just nicely stacked up in these bags. And I'm not saying you have to go that far, but if you can please separate your debris in a way that it is noticeable of what it is, and leave a little space between them so that we're able to get them as well.
I know there are some concerns with things that are bagged in opaque bags that you can't see what's in it. That's going to slow them down, because then they got to get out and see what it is. So maybe if it was a clear bag, or if there's just a way to do the debris or the like insulation, and so that it can't blow off or something, or bind it up with rope or something would be a good way to do it.
So with this program with Tetra Tech, is there any costs or monetary requirements that the listeners need to know about, or is this free?
Actually, this program is free, and it is for commercial property as well, if it's small commercial. And that's like a fine line of trying to decide what's small commercial versus large commercial. So I just encourage people to go to the website and find out. They will figure that out for you. I will tell you, so the right of entry form that you fill out that allows people to come onto your property to assess, then remove, and then go back and check to make sure everything is done properly. That's a voluntary application. You don't want your debris removed off your property? You want to keep your debris as a little souvenir or something? I don't know. You don't have to fill it out. But if you fill it out and you get multiple steps into this, and they've assessed it and they've done surveys and they're ready to remove it, and then you change your mind, then you might be looking at some sort of at a cost there for that. So make sure
it's what you want to do.
Make sure this is what you're going to do before you have county officials going through a lot of work with that. So. And
then another question is that, so when they come out and assess, once you do this voluntary sign up, is there like a notification that we're coming out at a certain time, or is it just once we give this permission? How did that process works out?
There will be a dashboard on the website, so they'll be able to see that, and then you can call the one Buncombe number. You can talk to them, and you can set up an in-person meeting with them at your house if you want to get more information about it. So there's several different ways that you can stay notified. Also, this program's to expedite cleanup, especially for people who are really hard hit and they don't have insurance for this. And I do want to encourage people, if you have debris on your private property, maybe right now, don't spend the money to pay somebody to remove it when you might be eligible for this program, and save your money. And then if we come out and say, okay, we can remove trees 1, 2, 4, and 5, but we can't remove tree 3 because it's on your back 40 or whatever, use your hard-earned money to pay to have your tree on the back 40 removed or something, save it for that ineligible that stuff that's not eligible. Save it for that.
Because we just want to clarify, because this is not like a reimbursement. We just want to really make that clear.
And that question was posed to me, and I really do feel for the residents who have gone ahead and paid for that. But when you think about it in terms of reimbursement, the reimbursement that it ultimately comes from FEMA, it's like proven a negative. How do you say, well, there were 6 trees on my property that were laying right here on my house basically, and I paid to have them removed, but they're not here now, but they were here. So you can't prove that.
So it's one of those things, just encouraging people to have patience. It's very hard. I mean, of course, we day 50 or something out from the storm, you're like, I just want this off my property. But this is just one of those things that we just want to say to the listener, just be patient, sign up so you can get assessed and to know how you can move in the most efficient way for yourself.
They will ask you if you have insurance, and they will check with the insurance. So if your insurance covers debris removal, you can't also apply to have us remove it for you and then use the insurance debris removal money for
something else.
For something
and my thing, and so I know a lot of folks are afraid of calling their insurance companies because sometimes
I think your premiums or something.
Not only your premium will go up, but sometimes your insurance companies will drop you if you're depending on what you're doing. Maybe there was a storm the year before and something came off your roof and you may have used it and within a year. And so are there rules around in cases like this where there's a big storm occurred and insurance companies and things of that nature? Because I know a lot of people have said that they're a little fearful of what's going to happen at the insurance. So,
I don't know the answer to that. I really don't.
Well, I will be doing some research.
And
of course, you won't know at the end of this show. You'll have to come back and see us. And guess what? We'll bring Brandi along.
But I think a lot of stuff, especially just kind of surmising from insurance, is that just read through your policy to know what it covers. And then I think, just like I say, I filled out this form just for my own personal self, and they ask for your policy number and your claim number.
And they'll help you figure that out.
And it's those things. And also, there's also a link on there as well to know your property number or tag, whatever they call that. Parcel number.
And then your little hand-drawn sketch
of
where your tree is on your back
ID,
40.
having some ID. So I did that, and it was all easy through my mobile phone. When I did it, you can take, when you do the browse, you can click pictures of the requested, and I went up there, and it sends an email to you as well to let you know that they received it, and I think a copy of your application. Very simple.
And if you're not tech savvy, grab your neighbor or your teens.
Or your grandkids.
Or visit one of the in-person centers.
Or go to one of the centers. Get out and see what's happening around the community. And do it, because the thing is, like you said, when in doubt, fill it out. And it's just important that we are doing what's cost effective for us in this time. Because there are so many other things that we're going to have to repay and or get fixed and things of that nature. So is there anything else you want to tell us or let us know about this program?
Just that commercial properties also are considered for this, and that demolition is also part of it. I know that we push the private property debris removal, but it's also small commercial, and it's also demolition. So
when you say demolition, what do you mean?
Like if you have a structure on your property, say an outbuilding that's in threat of collapse, if it's a danger, and it's not going to be repairable, fill out the form so they can come out, so site assessors can come out and look at it, make a determination if it will qualify for the demolition services.
So is that only just for commercial, or is that for?
No, it's for private.
Okay, so like if I like on my property, let's say I had a in-law suite and it got like it's leaning now,
Right.
Or
carport.
Yeah, or carport and or shed or something like that. You all would take it down?
Well, fill the form out.
Yeah,
go
fill the
out,
form
yeah,
out, and if it's
look at-
approved.
yeah, because I mean, nobody needs unsafe structures on their property.
Wow, that's that I didn't know that. That's nice.
Mm.
That's nice, because I thought that was something you just had to get knocked down or something. That's nice to know.
Yeah, that's.
I got another question, just from my own personal experience again. You know, when your family live here, you had everybody's property, looking at various things and what resources you can give to them. So I was at a family member's house, and due to the storm, like the tree didn't come all the way down, but it's huge branches. Something like that qualify?
It's a leaner. Is it a leaner?
Yeah, like a major branch broke, but it hasn't snapped from the tree.
Okay.
So you can see it's splintered, it's hanging down.
See, you have to learn leaners and hangers.
Okay, so it's a leaner and hanger.
Like widowmakers, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely sign up to have them come out and look at that to see if that needs to be removed, because dang, it was windy today.
Yes.
We had trees knocked down in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
without power and blocked in. So, but yeah, so yes, I remember hearing the leaners and the hangers.
Mhm.
Leaners and hangers.
Yeah.
Y'all getting a whole new vocabulary.
I know,
I know, right?
I'm gonna have to figure out how to use these words, like throughout my career.
Gotta be a
now.
holiday game
Yeah,
or something.
Mhm.
What did you learn post Helene?
I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, okay. That's definitely, I saw that too. So I just encourage people to go look around their property to see the true impact that's happening out there, and use these resources that's out there.
Exactly. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, and it's funny because I wish somebody would have said, "Don't remove anything when it falls off your yard," because my gutter fell, and my husband, I love him, being who he is, he removed it, got it taken off the property. You don't even know where it fell, like, and the lady goes, "Where did it fall?" I said, "Well, it was there and it fell there." I was thinking my husband got rid of it, and she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "I'm not asking you to replace it. I was just, you asked me if anything happened. I told you."
Well, that's what, when we were talking yesterday, or was it yesterday, and how strong everybody is here and how they really come together and 4 or 5 people are getting together and putting fences back up and making the repairs they need to make.
A neighbor of my husband, it was a widowmaker hanging in the yard. It was a hanger. And they yanked it down, and I was like, I'm about to be a widow and a neighbor widow. If this tree hits both of them, but they got it down, and this branch was huge.
Wow.
And but the thing is, we're saying yes, it is great if you can do those things, but safely,
yes,
and also if you can't use the services, because I'm pretty sure with Buncombe County as well, we are also trying to help folks in the long-term recovery, because it is going to be a long term. This is not going to be over next year in September. It's not going to be 1 year. And 1 year later, yes, we will look a lot different, but there will still be some things that need to be done. So this will be a long run, a long-term recovery. With that being said, is talk to your community, be cognizant about what's going on, so you can see, because there are other agencies getting together to work on long-term recovery, and Tetra Tech will be here for that as well, and so we're wanting to bring more folks on the station to let them know, hey, this is the agency that is here, and we're working with you all. These are our names, and we're going to be out here, and we just thank you all so much, because Leonard and I, we have been here, and we're paired up with a lot of folks, and we go around in the county every day, and we see so many faces, and these aren't our faces, but now they are, and we just thank you all so much. And so if you're out in the community and you see someone with a badge or a tag or a hat or something, say thank you. A lot of these folks, people are from here, from Houston. We met 2 young folks from Tetra Tech the other day. They were from Houston, and they had no winter clothes.
Oh, there was a gentleman from Hawaii and another from Puerto Rico in the briefing this morning,
Yeah.
and it's snowing.
Yes, and I looked at them and I said, "You can't come to help recover, and we need to protect you."
Right.
You know. So, but yes, please, if you see these folks, tell them thank you, because they are away from home, and the holidays are coming up. And we just met Brandi like a couple of weeks ago, and it has been awesome. You
Yeah.
know, and she got to hang out with us and go around and see our community and see our strong folks. I would like to just give a really huge shout out to Big Ivy.
Yeah.
We went out to Big Ivy yesterday, and that community has really buckled down, and they're really helping each other
Mhm.
and doing a lot of work. We don't get a chance to see all of that. But for us three, yesterday we went out and we saw all of that, and just looking at how those folks are. And they probably only knew each other by that's my neighbor or that's so and so's son, but they are now Helena family.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Mhm.
But again, if you see folks out there and they have on their badges or their tags, say thank you. Just a nice thank you, because it's so important. We're getting ready to get near the end. Randy just gave me the 5 minutes. So, Brandi, what is something you want to leave with our community?
Well, there is something that's just starting to roll out that I want people to be aware of, and that's that we're going to have contractors out in the field with Buncombe County staff doing substantial damage assessments. So if you see somebody rolling up, we have teams that are going to go out and they're going to be taking photos, possibly from their vehicles. They may have to get out of their vehicles and take some photographs. You might see them writing like notes in a tablet or something. And what they're doing is they're gathering information for these substantial damage assessments. So they'll be clearly marked. They'll be wearing blue vests. They'll have credentials on them. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask them for the QR code that you can scan to get those credentials. So I just want people to, just a heads up, they'll be out there, and this is what they're for, is just to help you get back on your feet.
Thank you. Leonard, anything you need to share with the community?
Yeah, I would just, as always, you always can go to www.buncombecounty.org to get more information, to see what resources you need in terms of debris removal, mitigation grants, as well as just regular resources. So we continue to direct the community to use that resource. Again, that's www.buncombecounty.org, and you can see what resources out there to help you. Again, we just like to say Tetra Tech is who the county has chosen to come in and help with particularly around our debris removal process. So hearing that name is synonymous with Buncombe County right now while we're doing this debris pickup. And so as the holidays come in and we're checking in on family, if you're aware of this, just let them know of this resource out there. As we said, if you're in doubt, please just fill it out. Again, just like I say, I was at my own loved one's house noticing, what I call them, leaners and hangers.
Leaners and hangers.
Leaner and hangers with trees, just in the aftermath of this storm. Let them know that it's a resource out there. It may not come very quickly or fast, but if we can continue to stay patient as we do this big cleanup, but strongly encourage people to fill out this form to see this is a free service. And so fill it out, and hopefully over the next few months we can clean up our community and stay strong. I'd like to echo what Zakiya has mentioned as well, especially in this holiday season, thinking we're thankful. We done made it through here. The storm hit us in August, and it's already
September.
Yeah,
It's September.
It hit us in it's just been a blur. So it hit us in September, and now we find ourselves November going into holiday season. And another thing, just being part of the community engagement team, is that we out in community, and we have seen community rise up and support each other. And again, just as a lot of people have came into our community to help us rebuild, a lot of us within the community have stood up to support the community. And on behalf of our team, we just tremendously just say thank you for everyone, for those who have scraped the mud, to those who have hung the new power lines, to those who just making a hot meal and sharing it with their neighbors. And so I just want to put that out there, and especially as we move into Thanksgiving, and simply say thank you.
All right, and that was Professor Jones giving us the education and meditation for the day. I always like to wrap it up for us, and just saying that yes, we are entering a holiday season, and this is the time for giving. But I don't want us to look at this right here as, oh, I'm going to give big. No, we need to give for as long as we possibly can. And when I say give, even if it's a simple smile or a hello or a thank you or opening a door for someone, if nothing else, this storm has taught us community, unity, togetherness. We are all in this together. We can do two things at one time. We can grieve and be grateful. And and some one may say, well, I should be thankful because I have X, Y, and Z, because this person. Stop that. Stop beating yourself up. You are allowed to feel and process. And there are a lot of things around in our community to help deal with that as well. As we go into these holidays, you may feel like you're without or don't have certain things. But I want you to remember that you all are all a part of one Buncombe. And we have each other, and we're going to always have each other. We're going to always do what's right by each other from now on, because Helene has made us stronger, but we are WNC stronger. We are ATH strong. And so I just want to thank you all and wish you all a happy holiday. And until next time, you've been tapped in.
Thank you for listening to Tapped In, Buncombe County's half hour to empower, here on WRES 100.7 FM in Nashville. Learn more about today's topics at buncombecounty.org. Otherwise, stay tuned for more great episodes coming up.